Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Here we go. At their own 30-yard line.
Come on.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
50's a mic. Here we go, D. Here I come again. Here I come again.
A first carry now for Nick Chubb. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play. It's 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Hey, alert 3, alert 3.
A toss play to Chubb. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Only gets 3 yards there on the heels of the 1-yard pickup. Sets up 3rd and 6.
In today's NFL, you hear all the time about stretching the field and creating space in order to run plays. A toss play will help accomplish that because now you're pushing a defense to chase you.
Nick Chubb. And he's going to be marked down short of the first down. Needed the 40, but he's a yard or 2 shy.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Mike 51. And we heavy on the edges, heavy on the edges.
Here's the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 10, right around the 9-yard line. Tackle made there by Myles Garrett.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Say, man, Eddie.
Check 52. 61. Matchbox lights. Let's go.
Now a draw play. This is Bell. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. Nick Bosa able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Now this is where field awareness comes into play. He's getting perilously close to his own goal line, and after that sack, backed up to his own 2.
On the return, Carter. Nowhere to go that time. It's a 46-yard punt with a loss on the return. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. And on the first drive, 3 and out. I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. Now, they told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
I don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense. that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
Call it a loss of 6 on the play, and it'll make this a 2nd and long. A shotgun snap for Darnold. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A gain of 22. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
Again, Darnold. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. And they're going to have another 1st down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 18.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
They'll get 13 yards for the 2nd play in a row.
Come on.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. That touchdown certainly a welcome sight. Remember, they were shut out last week. They talked to us about getting early momentum. Well, here you go in the opening quarter.
You got to rebuild confidence because when you get shut out, I don't care how strong you are mentally, you've got to take a step back and say, okay, what just happened here? Because nothing that we were doing worked well enough to get into the end zone, and that's a nice confidence-building drive, one that puts it in the end zone to give them an opportunity.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Now Mayfield. He'll get this to Chubb out of the backfield. Call it a pickup of 7, and that'll make it 3rd and 1.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
On 3rd and 1, here's Mayfield. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. And oh, they had him bottled up, but here's a late flag, and a face mask is going to get a much better starting position. So the face mask gets him a free 15 to start the drive.
Let's go, D. Big series right here. We got to step it up.
They'll run it with Bell. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now as they've got it to the 28-yard line. Darnold now to throw. Throw complete to Herndon. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Now Bell. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. And give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal. 2nd down and goal. Darnold. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's the one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
The Jets on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. They'll try and run it in with Bell. And the lane closes quickly for Bell, and he did not make it. Only a yard there, so it brings up 4th and goal. Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We are soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what?
Oh, yeah.
This is an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
The Browns drive about to get started. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of 1st downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 1st downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Mayfield. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
It's a nifty return of 29 yards. And the Jets will have a short field to work with as they take over 1st and 10.
Right there in the middle, 55. Okay, double.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Hey, Alpha!
Crunch! Mike 55, Mike 55. Hey, eat.
Red 80!
Taco.
Now Darnold. This is caught. And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. Jake Butt, his first touchdown on the year. And the Jets will extend their lead.
The defense is doing their best, but they're struggling right now. They'll look for some help from their own offense to keep them in the game.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
At their own 25-yard line.
Let's go now.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points get that 0 off the board. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Ready?
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. Going right side here, and that's complete. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. We'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Down.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Play fake. Mayfield. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 38. Room here to run. And it's a touchdown for the Jets.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick 6. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
Got it.
The Browns drive about to get started. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Jordan. And he's going to come up a bit short. He needed to get to the 35 for the first, but he only makes it to the 34. Here's Jamie Gillen now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Taking it about the 16. It'll be a 48-yard punt. 5 there on the return. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You've got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try to add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way. I have a little bit of a cushion. let's go ahead and try and extend things. If you've got some good plays drawn up, you might want to think about them right here.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And he'll just keep two hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. And for the Browns, a nickel set here on 3rd down. Darnold from the gun. Darnold, he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And that one will skip out of bounds as the linesman will mark this thing right at the 15-yard line. The Cleveland offense ready to go. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. To throw, Mayfield. He's going to air one out, and he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Here comes the boom. I see you.
It's now 3rd down and 9 yards to go.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Final play of the half, Mayfield. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Now a first down carry by Bell. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Darnold. A beautiful fake. Caught here by Bell. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 25-yard line. Now the Georgia Southern man. This is Jerick McKinnon. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Let him know. Let him know.
Darnold off the play fake to Bell. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Now it's Darnold. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Chris Jones make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. Now Kaimi Fairbairn for the field goal try. This one from 46 yards out. And this one is right down the middle. And that stretches this lead even further. It's now 24-0. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
The Browns drive about to get started. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here at half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. There's the Washington Husky. It's Dante Pettis. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. This quarterback now 8 of 17 so far, under 50%.
Mike 27. Watch the screen.
Ready.
From the gun, Mayfield. And he's got the hook up to Landry. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
First and 10 at the 32-yard line.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
Ready.
54. Mike 54. Watch it go.
Here's Mayfield. Looking left side, that's caught by Landry. And he'll go down at the 28. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Mayfield. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
They'll try again with Chubb. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
So statistically, both of these offenses have a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game.
Go.
3rd and goal, they're going with Chubb. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. A rough go there on third down, a loss of 4. So with a 4th and goal looming, we hit the end of 3 quarters of play. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The kick by Joseph is good. And they get a little bit closer here as the lead's down to 3 touchdowns. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
The Jets take over 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this. Now Bell hit. He lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
Mike 55. Hey, eat. Bandit.
Red 80.
Out of the shotgun, it's Bell. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on third down?
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The Jets on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Here's Darnold. He's going to air one out for Anderson. And this is taken in at the 5. And oh, so close as he takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. From the shotgun, it's a give to Bell. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. Le'Veon Bell with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Jets will extend their lead. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put him through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, you're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
that.
Super toe.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. They give the Chubb out of the gun, and they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's 3rd down.
Yes.
Motion. 50's the...
Ready to go.
50's the Mike. Hey, defense.
Let's go.
Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down. Jordan Reed has it. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland 1st down. I think everyone in the stadium saw that big hit coming.
And I, as a former defensive back, have to admit I'm a little disappointed. He actually was able to hold on to the ball. He brought the lumber on that play. Give my man a whole lot of credit for taking the hit and possessing the football.
And picking up the first down. A run for Nick Chubb. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Get it.
From the 45 on second down, Mayfield. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 45-yard line. So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. From the gun, it's a give to Chubb. Oh, Chubb fumbled it, and it's scooped up by the Jets. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. Back to throw, Darnold. Looking middle, and that's complete. And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Instead of running, Darnold's going to throw this thing. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Joe Schobert charging hard from that linebacker spot, and he drops him for a loss of 11.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
Check 37. Check 37.
Check.
Go 80.
To throw is Darnold. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Right, a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in the 4th. Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for New York. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback.
Let's go.
The Browns drive about to get started. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Eluding the pressure right. He's going to... And this is what here? Incomplete, they say. It looked like it was intercepted, but he apparently did not get the 2 feet down in bounds. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
15 line. Hey, Zoo. Like, now.
Now Mayfield. Going back to Lander. This time he's got it. Complete. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland first down. First down, Mayfield. Looking to complete it to Pettis, and he's got him. The Browns will quickly use their third and final timeout, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the ball game.
Ready? 10-2 stop.
Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
5.
47 Mike, 47 Mike. Mike, 47.
Check pass. Check pass.
47's a Mike, 47's a Mike. All day.
And speed grip. Speed grip.
Going to the air again with Mayfield. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Able to get there and pick it.
Let's go.
The Jets take over first and 10 at their own 1-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And they've got this one in hand. No timeouts remaining defensively, so this one should just be one kneel and then handshakes. On first down, Bell. And now where are they going to mark him here? Well, they say he did get back to the 1-yard line, but that could have easily been 2 points the other way. So it's a victory here for the New York Jets, and it was their defense that led the way, allowing just 3 points, that lone field goal in the entire second half.
And remember the old adage, offense sells tickets. Defense does what?
Wins championships.
And in this game, maybe a championship wasn't won, but a game was by the defense, right? Held them to just a field goal. That's a heck of a job. I mean, when they went out there with that determination and a pretty good game plan, pretty good idea of what they wanted to accomplish, just love the execution, love the tenacity, love the way they finished.
So for the Jets, they keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 8-3 on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, their luck may have run out as they fall to 4-7 now on the year. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.